loss isn't always a good thing. It's incredibly disappointing to see women tearing other women down. Morning, I am just making blueberry and banana pancakes. You can add a little bit of cinnamon or whatever you want in it as well. I will list the measurements down there. It's kind of like my own recipe. I normally eyeball it, but I've kind of weighed it out for you guys. So let's get going. They turned out beautifully. Da, da, da. I put a little bit of some sugar-free maple flavoured syrup from Bulk Powders, and yeah, these are really nice. I'll leave the recipe down below for you. What you could also do as an alternative is use like 15-20 grams less flour and replace it with protein powder in a flavour if you wanted like different flavour ones or whatever, or you just wanted to like bump up the protein. Yummy! Hello. So I made my pancakes this morning. The recipe will be down there. They were nice. They weren't super sweet, so I didn't put any added sugar or anything, and I think I could have used some extra banana. So yeah, whatevs. It was good. So I had that, and then I had that again because I kind of split them into two. Weird, I know, because I couldn't eat all of them in one go. I've got my water. Gaz has had some time out. My video for tonight is just uploading, which is good. And I thought we would talk a little bit about something that I think there's a lot of stuff kind of around and about on social media about it right now. And I've seen a few people do a different post. I've watched a few videos on YouTube about it, and I'm seeing an awful lot of like media coverage, and it kind of feeds into my kind of body acceptance and body image talks that I've done before. For those of you that are new here, just to give you a little bit of background on my body journey, shall we say. I work as a plus size model. However, I wasn't always plus size. I was scouted just before my 12th birthday, and I signed a week later to a women's agency because I have been, you know, 5'10", 5'11" since I was about 10 years old. So when I, you know, we moved to the countryside just before I went to secondary school, or in the US you'd call that high school. And I remember sitting down with my classmates a week later, and one of the girls, Cecily, who's still a really good friend like 15 years later, telling me that she thought that I was going to be a teacher when I'd come in the week before in my kind of normal clothes. So I was always really tall and really slim, and I was signed from the age of 12. I did a few kind of hair makeup jobs. I think my first paid job was an editorial for a watch for Harper's Bazaar, and I've worked for all sorts of brands like Littlewoods, I've done Cosmopolitan magazine, Russian Vogue, British Vogue, ASOS. I did ASOS Maternity for a little while, French Connection, all sorts of brands. And I went full-time at 18, having dropped out of college, so I did not finish my A-levels. Got to do Amman Fashion Week, and I have spent my years kind of travelling the world and working for various different brands, and that has been the only job I have ever had other than like 2 weeks in a vintage shop just before I went full-time actually. 2 or 3 years ago I started to feel like, you know, I had a bit of a breakdown of a relationship with a previous agency that I had. I went through a phase of being very, very, very tiny, and it just felt like I was never tiny enough, and I kind of stopped going into the agency. I changed agencies, I put on a bit of weight, I found myself like my new normal, which if you haven't seen it, my I will link it up here. It's my I'm plus size now video, or I'm still much smaller than I am now. So plus size in the UK fashion industry is really considered anything from a UK 12 up, which you can imagine for someone of my height is still very slim. But that's just, you know, that's how the fashion industry works. I changed agencies again, and I landed with Milk Model Management, who are my current agents, and they're fantastic. I'm very happy there. I've been with them for, is it coming up 3 years now? And I spent a year as more of like an in-betweenie. So that kind of UK 12 size that's kind of considered plus size, but also is not really big enough to be plus size. And had a bit of a mental breakdown after a really bad breakup, coupled with lots of other things from my past and various rebellious teenage behaviours and stuff that kind of led me down a bad path, and like I had body image struggles and things. And I ended up, because I was binge drinking, let's be honest with you, and very unhappy and very depressed, having a complete and utter mental breakdown and gaining a lot of weight, which I then lost some of and started working really, really well, having been fully recovered. Here we are, 2 years after that, and I have been, again, travelling the world, huge market for me in Germany, have lots of clients, I have a couple of decent clients here in the UK as well, and that is my story. I now, because I am not drinking myself into a hovel and am very well in the mind, now because I didn't work very well when I was an in-betweeny size, because there's not really a market for it, I now have found this sort of like middle ground, I guess, where now, rather than trying to fit into ridiculously tiny clothing for someone who's not a child or a teenager anymore, I have the opposite problem in that this is a much better choice for me, but I do have to work a little bit harder to keep on some of the weight to maintain sample size. In case any of you were interested and you were new, that is kind of my background. There are various videos on the modelling industry and I think how I got scouted and all that kind of stuff if you check the rest of my channel. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the press and media coverage and some of the posts I've seen about Adele's weight loss. I think she always looked fantastic. She's been really open about having weight struggles, and she's always been kind of like a bigger person, and that to me is not an issue. It does not define her in any way. I thought she was always absolutely gorgeous. Her voice is incredible. She writes her own music as well, and obviously she's amazing. I'm a big fan. I went to see her live at the O2 a few years ago with my friend. Absolutely incredible. Really, really funny. Really interactive, told us loads of stories. She's got the most infectious, incredible laugh as well, and I just think she's a really lovely and amazing person. Now, she hasn't said anything about her weight loss, but we know that she is going through a divorce or has recently got divorced. That's her business. That's, she's quite a private person when it comes to her private life, and she hasn't really said anything about her weight loss either. Now, this appears to have happened quite quickly, but what I'm seeing are people going, oh my god, this is amazing, and the other camp is kind of split into, what the hell happened, I'm really disappointed that you've suddenly lost a load of weight and all this kind of bullshit. There are so many things wrong, I think, in both camps. Like, the first thing I want to address is, like, I think it can be quite toxic and quite dangerous to constantly be consuming this media where we are talking about people's appearance all the time. You see it in, men having more body issues now because you're seeing things like Love Island, where these guys are very muscular, they have an incredible, almost like bodybuilder type physique. And there is that kind of pressure to look good all the time. You see it in young girls wearing lots of eyelash extensions and getting lip fillers and starting on Botox and all of this kind of stuff. And that very slim kind of figure has always been kind of society's ideal beauty standard, I guess. And while all of this is well and good, I want to know, like, why we always think that weight loss is a good thing. We don't know anything about her private life other than that she's going through a divorce or has just been divorced, and I think it's a really unhealthy and toxic habit to have all of this media coverage, which lots of people who do have eating issues and things are going to be looking at, wondering how she's done it. There have been a few sort of articles giving you tips and tricks on how to lose weight surrounding this, because she's kind of brought it to the forefront of the press again, diet culture and all that kind of stuff, and I don't think we should be commenting on it. And I wonder, like, why do we think it's good that she's lost weight? As I was saying, we don't know anything about what's going on in her personal life, and weight loss isn't always a good thing, and I wonder why we always view it as such, is my first point. I think it's a healthy thing to question, why do you assume that's a good thing? Because I know when I've lost a few pounds before, even if I see a lower number on the scale one week, it's kind of different for me, as I said, because I need to stay a certain size, but like in myself, I'm like, oh, I've lost a couple of pounds. Why do we think like that, you know? We've kind of been conditioned to think through media, social media, journalistic media, and people's responses to weight loss as well, that this is always a good thing, and it's not. We don't know whether she might be depressed, whether she's very stressed, whether she's using exercise or food, as a lot of people that have eating disorders are maybe struggling with something else and are using it as a form of control. We don't know anything about her, and she hasn't said anything about it, and why should she? So why are we making a big fuss about it? You never know. It comes back to this always again. If you haven't seen my Be Kind video where I discuss the unfortunate suicide of Caroline Flack, then I will leave it up here for you. Social media, journalistic media can be really damaging, and I don't think we should be commenting on this kind of stuff. If someone wants to go and give an interview and be like, I've lost weight and I am healthier than I've ever been, and it's been a really positive experience for them, I feel like that's kind of different. She hasn't commented on it. Why are we? It's not necessarily a good thing. We don't know. It might be, but we don't know, and we shouldn't be commenting on it. The other camp that I think is also quite dangerous is I'm seeing a lot of kind of curvier plus size women, like visibly plus size, because I myself do not consider myself to be really visibly plus size. I've actually had DMs and comments from people saying that's ridiculous that you're plus size, not as like to try and get my good side as such, that's not the right way of phrasing it, but not kind of trying to offend me, but being like, you know, you're not plus size, which I don't believe I am. And I've also had the same from people that are much bigger than me saying like, how, you know, how dare you call yourself plus size? Well, I am for the industry I work in, and that's just an unfortunate fact. But the same kind of people who are promoting this body acceptance, body positivity kind of movement, where we shouldn't be judging each other on appearance, and this kind of inclusivity movement that we're seeing a big kind of increase in on all sorts of media outlets, are the same people that are going, oh my god, I used to really be a fan of you, you used to be, you know, like, you used to be so curvy and beautiful, and now you've just conformed, and it's so disappointing that you gave in to the pressure. Maybe she wasn't pressured. Maybe she wanted to do it for herself. Maybe she was having health issues that were weight related that none of us knew about. Maybe it's the best decision of her life, but also maybe it's not. Why are we commenting on it? It's the same people that are advocating for this body positivity and body acceptance movement that are exhibiting the behaviour that those movements are supposed to stamp out, and it's incredibly disappointing to see women tearing other women down. And I just wanted to do a little spiel on how whatever camp you're in, maybe there's another one to be in where we just don't care and it's her business. She looks great now, she looked great then. Doesn't change the fact that she's a wonderful, beautiful singer and a hilarious person. And, you know, I haven't seen anything or read anything about her ever being awful to anyone in interviews, or, you know, anyone having a negative interaction with her. She seems to be a lovely human and a fairly normal human for the level of her celebrity. But her body shape, size, weight doesn't define her. And I really think that commenting on this kind of stuff is not a good thing to do. Can be really triggering. You know, if she is struggling, which she may or may not be, we don't know, as I keep saying, we don't know, then, you know, all of this stuff that she's going to be reading or trying to avoid, which is very hard to do when you have a phone and it's, you know, everywhere, that could be really triggering. If you've got an eating disorder and people comment on things, oh, you're looking really healthy, it will be, oh my god, I'm fat. You know, you have to be so careful about these things, and I think feeding into this kind of culture of having to comment on people's change in appearance is just not a good thing to do. I went through a phase when I was much younger where I was being told by my agency I need to be tinier and tinier and tinier, and then I was having my friends tell me that because I'd put on like literally a few pounds that I was looking much healthier than I did, and I immediately thought, oh fuck, I've gained weight, I better start dieting again, because the next time they do my measurements they're going to say something to me. You don't know what is going on for other people, so you just shouldn't comment on it. And I just thought it would be an interesting section of the vlog, and probably the final section of the vlog today, to have a little bit of a body image kind of topical chat about you, because it's relevant now, because it's happening now. Similarly to this, I saw an article in the Daily Mail. I call it the Daily Fail. It's entertaining because it's all like celebrity gossip and stuff, and I do kind of check it as well as various other more reliable news sources. Where this is before Ashley Graham had her son, so she was not pregnant at the time, and she was doing a lot of training and things, as she always is. She seems to always be in the gym, which is brilliant. She's a beautiful plus size model. She's very successful, and there was a picture of her attending some kind of event, like a bit more of a casual one, but she was wearing a dress, and I think she probably had some shapewear on and stuff. And the amount of comments that I saw from people going, I'm so disappointed in you conforming, you've clearly lost a load of weight, I thought you were one of us, all of this kind of bullshit. Why are we doing that? Like, we're not at school. Like, imagine if she read that. Do you know what I mean? People's bodies are their own business and no one else's, and you or anyone else or journalists do not need to be commenting on them. Unless someone wants to go, oh yeah, I'd love to do an interview with you about my new health and fitness regime because it's the best thing I've ever done, then fine. But if they don't, why are we doing that? We need to be lifting each other up and supporting each other, and that does not mean like criticising people's bodies or promoting that weight loss is always a good thing, because it's not always. And I just think that we should all be a little bit more aware of what we're saying and the impact of our words. So that is the that on that for today. Thoughts of the day. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I know I have a lot of women in particular who watch me, and that's very nice, and I appreciate you all very much. Hello to anyone that's new. I hope you've discovered a little bit more about my kind of background and history. If you want a proper video where I sit down and go through kind of like the years and proper life cycle of my career and modelling and that kind of stuff, let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I can do like a proper, more detailed one. But yeah, I think I'll leave it here for today and leave you with those thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm just going to chill out, do my description box, finish off my thumbnail and all that kind of stuff. I might start editing this vlog actually as well. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's more kind of topical discussion type vlog. I hope that you'll follow me on Instagram, because if I'm not on here, then I'm always on there. And I will see you tomorrow. Please do give the vlog a thumbs up for me. See you later. Bye.